Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with my manga wrap up, my manga log for June. So, okay, listen, this was a bang up month considering how not on reading my manga I have been this year. The readathon I participated in definitely helped a lot, and I definitely am really happy about it because I have almost cleared an entire TBR shelf. I need to shift things around more, but I will have basically cleared an entire TBR shelf, I think, when I move some stuff around. That's wild because I gotta put everything back. But yeah, I read a lot of manga. So this log is going to be a little different. I'm not going to go in order of what I read. I'm going to group them. So we're going to do the series I read multiple volumes in, and then the single volumes I read for different things. Just to kind of keep it together. And I'm only going to hold up one volume. Probably. I'm probably not going to hold up like 4 or 5 for things I finished. I don't think that makes a lot of sense personally. And yeah, so there's that. But let's first talk about my stats real quick. In case you're curious, I definitely read a lot of manga, but it's really funny because with how much I read, I still honestly probably could have read 30 plus more volumes and it's been fine. I really was loving what I was reading. So there's that. So stats wise, I read 70 volumes of manga for about 12,951 pages. Wild. Genre wise, I read 37 shoujo, 5 shonens, 7 seinens, 13 joseis, 1 yuri, 3 yaois, and 2 manhwas, because I do count those in here. Yeah, so that was like freaking thrilling to read that much, but let's dive directly into all the books I read multiples of from a series. Okay, first up we have the Dragon King's Imperial Wrath, Falling in Love with the Bookish Princess of the Rat Clan, volumes 1 and 2 I read. This is complete at 3, so I will be picking up the 3rd volume soon and then deciding if I'm keeping the series or not. Yeah, volumes 1 and 2. I really liked this. I am a little sad to know it ends at 3 volumes, because I do think it could have used a little more time to develop. This does follow our heroine who is of the Rat Clan. She runs into the Dragon King in the library and he realizes she's his fated mate, and it's that journey of him picking a bride from all these different clans, most of which, generally speaking, are never the Rat Clan, it seems, through history. And she's very bookish, loves the library, all these things. It's very cute, it's very fun. Like, I really loved in volume 2, there's a moment where he's like, but I love you, or I'm like, I really like you, and she's like, I need more time, and I thought that was really precious. But yeah, I really liked this. I love the art. It's really good art, like, it's beautiful inside, but I feel like it needed a few more volumes, most likely. I could read volume 3 and be wrong, but currently at 2, I'm like, how is it over in one more volume? Okay, I know I own volume 1 physically, but I also own volumes 1 through 3 digitally in this series, and that is Prince Freya. So I did read volumes 1 through 3. I will be continuing this. I can get most of them digitally through one of my libraries, so I'll probably read them that way and then determine if I want them on my shelves or not, as I am starting to fill up here. The Grumps is already like strategizing how I could shift things to have more bookshelf space if I need to. So that's nice. But either way, Prince Freya volumes 1 through 3 was fantastic. This follows a girl who ends up assuming the identity of the prince who's been killed and having to navigate that while also losing a lot of people she really cares about and getting crushes on people involved in her life that do or maybe don't know that she's not really the prince. It was fascinating as a read overall. I'm really, really intrigued to see where it's going. I love the art in this. I love the story that's being told. I am very, very, very interested in it. Another one that I only have digitals of is Boss Wife. I reread volume 1 and read all the way through volume 4, and I'm planning to catch up on this as well. I own a handful of these digitally, and also one of my libraries has them, so I will be staying caught up that way probably instead of buying them. This is really fun. When I first read it, I didn't love it as much because I think I was reading a couple other Yakuza mangas that we were getting at the same time. I was picking and choosing what I had to read with those tropes happening. So this one kind of got set to the back burner, and I'm happy to return to it because it has been so much fun. I am really liking the setup. They were childhood friends. She confessed her crush on him. He denied her. Lo and behold, she's in trouble. Her dad's like in a bunch of debt, and he is like, that's fine, I'll marry you and I'll get you out of this debt. And it's very intriguing where it's going, so I'm very excited to read more. Then I read QQ Sweeper volumes 2 and 3, so I'm officially done with the prequel to Queen's Quality and can actually dive into that. I own 2 and 3. I'm anxiously awaiting a reprint of volume 1 again, because of course I didn't buy volume 1 when that was around. No, I waited because I was like, I can only find this volume. Why would I buy it? Now it's gone. It's fine. Your girl's not paying $100 for a volume of manga. Absolutely not. But QQ Sweeper was fantastic. I love the paranormal elements here. The like going in and like clearing out these insect demons. Fascinating. Really, really love the setup for this. I do think if you have the Viz app and you haven't tried this series, you need to, because it's so freaking good. Then I reread a favorite, which I'm not going to pull down, which is Imakoi. I read volumes 1 through 9. I loved this. I had so much fun reading Imakoi. I truly just adore this series. I think it's so cute, so sweet. They're so fun. You get 2 different couples total in the series, and we get just this really fun development of friendship and being in a relationship and what that means and where it goes. And they're like, both of them in some ways are like weird little married couples already. Then I read the rest of Yakuza Lover. I read volumes 8 through 12 of this series and finished it. I enjoyed this. Overall, the series as a whole is probably a 3.5 for me. I'm actually debating if I'm going to keep it or not on my shelves, which is a surprise because I really liked this. I've been pretty trash for this series. Overall, I think it's been so fun. It's enjoyable. It's different. But the final volume, volume 12, I didn't love it. I don't know that I loved it. But I really enjoyed watching Yuri and Oya like fall in love and their journey and their relationship. Her having to like navigate her family in these last few volumes was really interesting as well, I feel like, because we got a taste of the reality of like being in love with somebody who technically is like a criminal. Not technically, like literally as a criminal would be with a family, generally speaking. I feel like, I don't know, a lot of families would be like, yeah, sure, whatevs, you can be with this guy in the Yakuza. We don't care. You know, like, that makes sense. But yeah, I liked this a lot overall, but I just had some qualms at the end as far as how it ended. I don't want to spoil it, but if you want to discuss it in the comments, I'm happy to discuss it with you. Just, like, bury it a little. Okay, next. One of the BLs I really enjoy and have enjoyed, was happy to see get more in the series, had volume 3 come out in June. So I picked that up, and that was Birds of Shangri-La. I have volume 2 and 3, which... look at how thick volume 3 is comparatively. I really liked these like a lot. I think this is a fascinating series. It's definitely not for everyone, but it is explicit. It is about these sex workers on an island and the men who are their teasers. Basically, they prep them to do the job. And this follows one of our male heroes who has left like the mainland because of the fact that he's like getting a divorce and going through some issues, and took up this job as a teaser. He's a straight man, but he is exploring his identity outside of that, perhaps, and the assumptions he thought he had made about himself with one of the birds, and it's like not allowed. So there's this really fantastic forbidden element here. The art is stunning in this book series. They are drawn so beautifully. I love that about it. I love the story being told. It is definitely, again, not going to be for everyone, though. I will say that like flat out. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but for me, it is exactly what I was looking for in a BL. And it was so fun to read these two. I'm very nervous about where we're headed in volume 4. Okay, I think volume 3 is downstairs, but I have volumes 1 and 2 here, and that is The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife. I read this is volume 1. Volume 1 and 2 and 3 of this, and oh my goodness. They're so stinking cute. So she's blind, he's invisible, and it's their romance. They're co-workers, and they're navigating this like dating thing. It's kind of her first time dating. And he's a little bit older than her. It's really precious and sweet and adorableness. And I just need more. And I'm mad I'm caught up. But I'm also happy I'm caught up because that means when the next volume comes out, I can just read it. And I already know I like it. So it's just easy peasy for me in a way. But also sad because I'm caught up. So I've been working on catching up on Yona, one of my all-time favorite series. This is a wonderful fantasy romance about a princess whose dad is killed in front of her. Peace, can you not? Her dad is killed in front of her, and she goes on the run with her guard Hawk, and turns out she is the Dragon King incarnate, and there's dragons, and it's so good. It is so good. Definitely, you know, takes a couple volumes to like pick up some, and she's 16 at the beginning, so the Yona you meet in the first like 10 volumes is not the Yona we are at here in volume 38. These were fantastic 5-star reads for me. I adored them, and I cannot wait to read the next handful of volumes I have left until I'm caught up. And then I'm going to be really sad that I'm caught up. They're in my basket over there. So it's probably happening in July. I about said June, in July, but this was amazing. Then a new to me series that I started and caught up on as well. Fortunately, it's a both. September and October are going to kill my wallet with new releases, but it'll be okay. That is Me and My Beast Boss volumes 1 and 2. Is this the right order? Yes. This was really fun. So this is about a human in a world that also has beasts in it. And he's like a lion type hero character person, whatever happening here. And he takes her on as his secretary. and she is determined to prove that she's worthy of this job and capable of doing it and not afraid of him. So we follow the journey of her doing that and him finding out what had happened to her under her old boss and not being happy about it. So this is fantastic. There's definitely there's a romance happening here as well that I'm really excited to see play out. This was really fun. I love a workplace in manga like this, and I love how determined our heroine is. Also, she's tall, so that was fun. She's like 5'7" or 5'8". Next, we have Honey Lemon Soda. I'm definitely also missing a volume. The next few I'm going to be missing downstairs because I read them at the end of the readathon. They've not made their way back up the stairs yet. So I read volumes 2 through 4 of Honey Lemon Soda, and I don't know if I'm current or not. I'm going manga shopping soon to refill some of my things, but I read these and I loved them. Oh my goodness. Honey Lemon Soda was fantastic. It's definitely a higher angst setup, I feel like, overall for a shoujo romance high school setting, but I'm really enjoying it. I love our heroine. She's really figuring out who she is and what she wants to do in these situations. She's very anxious being. So anxious. These were so fun. I'm really curious to see where it continues to go, and our hero is definitely you can tell he has a crush on her and that is happening. So I'm really ready to see it progress a little more here. Next, we have Remarried Empress Volume 1. I also read volume 2 of this and I loved it. I loved both of them. They're so good. I honestly just had so much fun with this one. I can't wait. I cannot wait to continue. I plan to probably collect all of these in print. I love the covers. They're stunning. So I will be picking up more of these soon. I will be picking up more of this. This follows an empress and an emperor who are basically getting separated. She wants approval to marry this prince from another world, or emperor from another world / the other half of the world. He's the Eastern, he's the Western. Anyways, it's that. It is his new mistress that is trash. She's the worst. And there's definitely just some intrigue happening. So you open on that, and then now we rewound to the beginning to get the story. So I just kind of got to know what happens. I'm very curious. Very, very curious. And then the last thing I read, which is sitting downstairs, is Cheeky Brat. I read volumes 7 through 9. These were the last things I read for the readathon. Again, it just has to migrate up, and it hasn't. I normally am better about this, but I do not have the energy right now. So that series, Cheeky Brat, fantastic. I continue to adore their dynamic. I think it's just so fun and cute. I have a good time with it. That's all I need out of it. It is just a fun time, and that is exactly what I want. Okay, last but not least is the one digitals that I read 3 volumes of, and that is Nina the Starry Bride. I read volumes 11 through 12 of this and loved it. Continue to be obsessed with this series. I am so happy we're getting physicals. I mean, they're right here on my shelf. You can't see them, but they're literally right here. And I actually regret volume 1 as well because I wanted to read my physical version. But it's a series that I will continue to read digitally and then be buying them physically because that's how much I've enjoyed it and that's how engaging I find this story. This is another fantasy romance setting with a lot of political intrigue. A lot of people are not who we think they are, and a bit of a love triangle that could possibly be frustrating at times, but I actually ended up loving all the characters, so I didn't really care about the love triangle at the end of the day. It's so good. I love Nina. All right, we're going to talk about the single volumes I read. And again, it's going to be a time. Okay, our stack is ready. We're going to go through this, hopefully, kind of quickly. And then I'll talk about the ones I read digitally and don't have physically here. So we have My Androgynous Boyfriend Volume 4. This was fine. I'm so torn because the series has taken so long. I feel like I need to revisit 1 through 3 and then reread this at some point to make a full determination on the series. Do I want to finish it? Do I want to abandon it? I don't know. It was cute. Was it worth the wait? I don't know. I don't think it was. And I hate to say that because I've really enjoyed this series. Y'all are gonna watch a stack grow behind my head probably for this. Then I read I Can't Refuse Us Volume 3. Loved this. I really enjoy a teach me how to have sex book, and this has been really fun. I know we have 2 more volumes minimum coming in this, so I'm really curious to see where it goes in the next 2. This was very fun. I've continued to enjoy this series. I'm very curious to see where it goes. Like I said, as we continue, it's definitely higher on my list of steamships I've enjoyed more. Oh, then we have one that I really love, which is We Can't Do Plain Love. This is very Sweat and Soap-esque, but she's the one who likes how he smells. He's the nervous Nelly when it comes to communicating with women, and she's helping him work through it. And then also there's a lot of jealousy between the two of them when there is another person that might be interested in the other, which I really love to see on page. It's very fun. He gets very possessive, and I love that. So I adore this. I cannot wait for Volume 4. I will be keeping up with this series. Next, we have, oh my goodness, Skip and Loafer Volume 9. I also loved this. This is a fantastic continuation in the series. The aftermath of something that happened recently in the volumes, I don't want to say what in case you're not caught up, is kind of coming back to a head of like, maybe we were wrong. And I like that. I like that part a lot. They go on their little summer trip back to her hometown, which was adorable and precious and a good time. I cannot wait for more. Okay, next we had one that I've owned for a while and I've been told to try before, and I may pick up 2 more to make a decision, but Sayonara Football Volume 1. I liked this. I think it was pretty fun. She loves to play football or soccer and can't play on the boys team, but there's no girls team, so it's kind of navigating that. And at the end of this is kind of what sold me on probably continuing, because we've got some she's the man action happening here. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Next, we have another one I love and adore, and that is Cat and Gamer Volume 3 we finally got recently. I can't wait for Volume 4. I don't know if Volume 4 is possibly already on shelves, honestly. This is precious and adorableness. It just gives me everything. It is 100% life with a cat sometimes, at least in my house, when you're trying to get things done and the cat is just all over. Like, I just kicked her out of the room because she kept moving the camera, and I'm like, I just want to film. But this was adorable. I love it. I'm happy to wait between volumes for this one right now because I've just really had a fun time with it. And I don't feel like it's one that I need to read like regularly to follow the story. My babies are back. I read Sign of Affection Volume 8 and I loved it. As always, they're getting ready to move in together and it's so cute and precious. And I've got to watch the anime still. I might do that very soon here. But these give me similar vibes to my Imakoi books. They're just older. They're in college. And I just love them. Like, I loved everything about this volume. I love everything that's happened in this story. It's so cute. It's so precious. She, our heroine, is deaf and he has learned sign language so he can communicate with her properly, and just like, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then we have BL Metamorphosis Volume 2, another one I've had on my shelf for ages. I need to finish the series. I only have a handful left. I didn't pull it for this month. I was like, maybe I pulled it for this month. I don't think I did. But if I finish everything in my crate, I may read this. The rest of this month. I loved Volume 2. They go to a thing where they sell the manga in this one, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So they go to a market where they're selling like the different mangas that are made by just regular people. And also she meets like her daughter and they just, it's very sweet and cute. And then this end of the stack, The Dragon Knight's Beloved Volume 3. I'm working on catching up on this because I have a stack of these on my shelf. And I loved Volume 3. I think this is a fantastic continuation. We have some kidnapping, we have some intrigue happening here, and we learn a little more about the dragons and these two's relationship. They're precious and adorable. Okay, there's that stack. I'm gonna get the next stack. Then I read Volume 3 of She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. They welcome their new neighbor into their friendship. They go on a little date thing to a friend's house and have a whole cooking thing together. Adorable. I am obsessed with these two. I'm obsessed with this series. I love the food art in here. It makes me so hungry though, so go in knowing that ahead of time. But this has been a really fantastic Yuri so far, and I'm really excited to see it develop. And then I finished a series. I finished Ladies on Top with Volume 6. Another one that I don't know if I'm keeping after finishing it. I liked it. I don't know that it paid off as much as I wanted it to at the end of the day for a final volume. I don't know if I'm happy with it. It just was lacking in some things. And I know that feels like a very strange statement for Volume 6 with this cover, but I feel like Wotakoi and Sweat and Soap and some of the other series I've read have had better endings and better payoff overall throughout the whole series. So a little torn. Considering we are told Ladies on Top and pegging, it is just not as steamy or explicit, I guess, at the end of the day as I would have liked it to be. Then I read the newest steamship that I am unsure on. I will definitely pick up Volume 2 to try and determine my feelings on it. I might get Volume 3 as well, especially because I have McKay's here, so like it's pretty easy for me to go trade stuff in. But before you discard me, I shall have my way with you. This is a very twisted tale. This is definitely for my dark romance girlies, for my fans of a twisted story, a definite push and pull between the two characters. She's betrothed to him and then he breaks it off, but she like traps him to basically have sex. And then we switch positions where he's trapped her. It's weird. It's different. I'm curious where it's gonna go. So I will pick up Volume 2 and 3 probably and then make my determination. Then we read Bad Boys Happy Home Volume 2. These take me forever because what I figured out is the art's not bad. There's something in the art in this that I don't love though, and I can't quite pinpoint it for you. I've been told the teeth perhaps. I don't know. This was a good continuation. Definitely a big content note here for rape and sex trafficking stuff in this, slash like forced prostitution. That was a lot. It was a very surprisingly intense volume. But overall, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I will be picking up Volume 3 sooner than later to also finish that up. Then I read Ni 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 or Nay Nay Nay. I don't know which. This is really cute. So she's like 17 and gets married to this guy who's like in his 30s. They're both virgins, unsurprisingly. And navigating like their first relationship, he has to wear a mask to keep demons from possessing him. and she's very much like trying to take on her wifely duties and role, but he's like, you're not old enough, I'm not doing anything with you, which is like kind of cute. It's not going to work for a lot of people, and for some of us it will. It was a solid 3.5 for me. I liked the setup. I thought it was interesting. I would read another one if it came out. It is a standalone though, as far as I'm aware. Next we have Chobits Volume 1. This is the 20th anniversary edition. I need to revisit this at another time when I'm not doing a readathon, I think. But I watched the anime back in the day, and I've read some of this before. It's a hard one to digest as like an adult now, and with the things I know. I may revisit this though at some point. I love the art is the hard part, because it's Clamp, so like of course the art is like stunning and amazing, and it's integral to a lot of current day manga stuff. But yikes, is all I got for Chobits. She's basically a robot Personicom, they call them, which is a humanoid computer, and she's like thrown out. He finds her in the trash, so it's interesting. I will reread it at some point and then decide if I'm keeping it. Then we have After We Gaze at the Starry Sky Volume 2, which I nearly cried during. I loved this. This was so freaking good. Fantastic continuation. I love these two. They're adorable and precious. Must protect them at all costs. This is such a great romance following a photographer who photographs nature and stuff, and this guy who does graphic design and is in a wheelchair, and he is helping him like explore the world, and they fall in love together. It's adorable. Next, we have another one that was okay. That is Lord Hades' Ruthless Marriage. I don't know if this one, for me, I just wasn't fully in the mood for it at the time, but I will probably at some point pick up volume 2. I was just okay with it. It was fine, like 3.5, 3, fine, like absolutely fine for what it is. I liked the art though. Like the art was really pretty and fun. It was interesting of a setup, but for the most part, I left it pretty indifferent, which is surprising. And again, I read so much this month that could be part of it, but I also didn't read a ton of stuff I didn't like, so that's also a thing. But yeah, I had fun with this. I do think if you're a big fan of Hades and Persephone stuff, this would be a great one to pick up. It is definitely text heavy though, I will say that. And otherwise, I think it was fun. It's an interesting setup. He's trying to find a match that isn't Core or Persephone. Oh, and she's helping him, by the way. Then I reread Volume 1 of Sailor Moon, which I'll be rereading again at some point this year or early next year, because I'm going to do a vlog where I read all of Sailor Moon. We've got to. I love the art in this. I continue to really enjoy this. I have a lot of nostalgia for Sailor Moon, so I'm not the person to be objective about this series, but I still had fun with Volume 1. That stack's full, so I'm not going to put anything else up there. But last but not least in this stack is Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost, Volume 1. I also reread this. I'm going to finish the series this month. I really enjoyed this. I love the twist on it. I love the art in this. I just think it's a really fun twist on Beauty and the Beast. Now let me tell you the things I don't have up here. So I did also read Titan's Bride Volume 3. I really liked this continuation. I'm very intrigued by this series overall. We had like a pivotal moment happening at the beginning of the volume. Things change, and then they go on a journey to meet this elf who's like a researcher, and it's very funny, very cute, good time. Highly explicit though, so this is a proceed with caution. It is sealed for a reason. Then I read Cherry Magic 30 Years, my phone typoed it to thirsty. 30 Years of Virginity Will Make You a Wizard. I read Volume 3, and I have 3 Volume 8 on my shelf, so that's going in the basket soon for reading. But I really enjoyed Volume 3. I continue to really like this series. I think their romance is really cute. They're very in the will they won't they stage and like unsure of each other, which I don't mind. Like I think that's a really fun stage sometimes. Really liked this though. I'm very excited to continue. Then I read Dinosaur Sanctuary Volume 1. Also loved this. I think this was just fantastic at the end of the day. It was really intriguing setup. It was way better than I ever expected it to be. I should have known. A lot of my friends really love this book, so I should have known I would like it. But here we are. I really did freaking like it. Then I read Chia Furu. I'm saying this wrong, and I know I am, and I'm trying, I promise. This is on Kindle Unlimited / Comixology Unlimited, and I will be continuing this series for sure. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was such a fun setup. I thought this was so much fun to read. This is about kids in elementary school. This is a josei also. And they're playing a card game, and basically like they form a team to play this card game, and it's going to like develop into a romance situation and them playing this game together. And I think it's really cute so far. I really like their dynamic. They were just precious little beings, and I loved it. Then I read Naruto Volume 1. I will not be continuing Naruto. That is definitely not a manga I see myself reading. It was fun. It was fine. I read it because it fit a prompt, literally, like a sightseeing prompt. Then I read Our Not So Lonely Planets Travel Guide Volume 1, and I loved this. I will be picking up more volumes of this from the library to read digitally, Probably during the next round of 30 and 30, it'll be one of the digitals I focus on. But because I don't have to buy it and I can read it from the library, I'm going to devour as much as I can there and then make decisions for my shelf. This was fan-freaking-tastic though. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun to read and just enjoy their relationship. They're so cute. They're traveling the world together and learning just so much as they go about each other and about like what they want their relationship to be. That is everything I read, I think. I think I got it all in the month of June. I passed July. We are in July right now. In the month of June. I did pick up some books, so I'll run through those really, really quickly for you. So as I was trying to read down this shelf, obviously I was trying not to buy a lot of things. I am probably going to buy manga. Or we'll have bought manga by the time you see this, but it's fine. It's fine. Because again, we've still managed it. So I did buy My Androgynous Boyfriend Volume 4 / got my pre-order in June. Skip and Loafer Volume... Well, that is backwards. Skip and Loafer Volume 9 came in. As well as I Can't Refuse S Volume 3. A Sign of Affection Volume 8. We Can't Do Plain Love Volume 3. After We Gazed at the Starry Sky Volume 2. I actually bought 2 copies of that on accident because I bought one while I was in Texas and then had one show up at my house. Oops. And then Before You Discard Me, I Shall Have My Way With You Volume 1. So that's all I bought in June. So I'm really proud of myself. I feel like I did a good job not overbuying. But also, like, I read every single volume in that stack. So that's a win. Like, that's what I'm working towards, reading everything that comes in the month. So that's it for my manga log for June. Let me know what you read in June and loved. I would love to hear about it because I'm always looking for new series to pick up. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave me a beachy room-related emoji of your choice for Skip and Loafer. We'll do that. So a beach ball, the umbrella, any of that stuff. Take your pick. A crab. I don't care. Surprise me. In the comments. And I will have links to all this manga. Links to my friend anywhere on the internet that I am. And I will talk to y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing. Come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is